I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This Guitar 101 series, which is part of my online music academy, is a beginner through intermediate level guitar course similar to the in-person ones I teach at the university. The course progresses from complete beginner through gaining capability in playing songs in various styles and covers playing chords and melodies and reading chord symbols, tablature, and standard music notation. With the Guitar 101 course, we use 3 of the books from my method book series: Chords and Harmony books 1 and 2, Note Reading books 1 and 2, and Tablature, which are all available for purchase through Amazon and Google Play. Links can be found in the description below or at kristenbromley.com. You are of course welcome to participate in this course with or without the books, but with the books you can play right along with me on all the songs and exercises as intended. Plus, each book comes with exclusive access to additional hours of in-depth video lessons that go with each part of that book. If you find this Guitar 101 series helpful, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's get to jamming in this week's lesson. Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I'm so thrilled to be here working with you, helping you learn to play the guitar. This is lesson 26 of the Guitar 101 series. So lesson 1, I started from ground zero, assuming that those watching that video had never played the guitar before, maybe didn't even have any musical background. Now we're in lesson 26, which would be pushing towards the end of a second semester course at the university where I teach. And now we're getting into some pretty intermediate, advanced level things. So in this particular lesson, the new thing that we're going to be working on with chords is we're going to start working on movable 7th chords, sort of jazz chords, as they're often referred to because they're so frequently used when playing jazz. So we're going to start working on some of those voicings. We'll do that towards the end. As we get started with the chords, we're going to be reviewing our double time strumming. We're going to be working on a couple new finger picking patterns. We're also going to work on using alternate bass plucks in addition to bass plucks. So couple of new and fun things there. In the tablature, we're going to start working on third position. So reading in the third position and do another challenge piece from the back. And in the notes, we're going to work with the key of F major and D minor, which has 1 flat, B flat. So we get to start working on that. Lots of great things. Let's go ahead and jump in. So as we get started, we're going to start on page 44 of the chords book and do number 8, Danny Boy. We're going to do our new double time feel strumming pattern from last time as we play this one together. So you're going to have down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up. So hopefully that's a good review. Of course, if you missed the last lesson, you want to go find that one and learn this pattern right along with me. Okay, here we go. So, as a review with the double time feel, the strumming is going to be going at a faster rate than the melody. So, Danny boy, the pipes. It gives it sort of a relaxed feel when going at slower tempos while making it also feel like there's some motion. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. A lot of songs use this sort of technique in the strumming. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all Okay, we'll do another one like that. We'll go over to page 55 and do number 8. So Wayfaring Stranger, same thing. We'll use that down, 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 up, up, down, down, down. 3, 4, 1. I'm just a wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. But there's no sickness, no toil of danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going to see my Father. I'm going no more to roam. I'm just a ghost. Went over Jordan. I'm just a ghost. Super fun. Okay, we're going to go on over to page 20 and do number 7. We're going to practice with the same strumming pattern, but we're going to be doing it where there's 2 chords per bar. So with 2 chords per bar, we switch on that first up. So in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, number 7, we've got the G for a bar, and then we got C, G, C, G. So just practice going back, switching on that up strum. So twinkle. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, and twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. We'll do that same thing on page 60 with number 19. So the Erie Canal. Take it a little bit slower. Here we go. I've got a 1, 2, ready, and I've got you. A name is Sal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal. She's a good old worker and a good old pal. 15 miles on the Erie Canal. We hauled some barges in our day. super fun. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is flip on over to pages 64 and 65. We're going to work on a couple new finger picking patterns. So the first one we're going to do is number 24, or number 23 rather, on page 65, and I have it written here on the board for 3/4 time. Thumb, ring, middle, index, middle, ring. Thumb, ring, middle, index, middle, ring. Thumb, ring, middle, index, middle, ring. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Once you've got that warmed up, we're going to take that through some of these progressions at the bottom of page 65. So we'll go ahead and start with number 4. Starts with a G, C, just like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 1 and G, C, G, D7, G, C, D7, G. Let's take it a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 1 and. Nice. Let's back up and do number 3. Starts with a D chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 1 and. Let's do number 6. Starts with E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 1 and. Okay, let's look at the other pattern now. So we're going to do number 4. It's there on page 64. PMIA for the first half, PMAI for the second half. So it flips it around a little bit. Thumb, middle, index, ring, thumb, middle, ring, index. So thumb, middle, index, ring, thumb, middle, ring, index. Thumb, middle, index, ring, thumb, middle, ring, index. PMIA, PMAI. So kind of get that going. Let's do number 7 with this one. It starts with A minor, so you can kind of get comfortable with that on A minor. Here you go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, we'll take it just a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Let's do number 6 with that one. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. And let's go ahead and do number 2 with that one. Starts with A. So 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, so we're going to go on and do some of that bass plucking now in our strumming, alternate bass plucking really. So we're going to turn on over to pages 88 and 89 in the book. We're going to be at the bottom of page 88. So in the last 3 lessons, we've worked a little bit with bass strumming. So we pluck the bass note, and then we have some sort of strumming that follows. One of the patterns that we did was K, where we went bass, strum, bass, strum, bass, strum, bass, strum. I'm doing this with an A chord. And another one we did was where we added the down up. So now at the bottom of page 88, where we have Q and R, and you'll see over beat 3 is an A, B in both of them, alternate bass note. So what happens with an alternate bass note is it's going to be another note from the chord. And so most of our chords, that's going to be either the 3rd or the 5th. Most often it's the 5th. So over on page 89, you'll see some diagrams with various first position chords, and then also some bar chords. There's different, you can see in the key, there's different shapes that represent what the pitches are in those chords. So the diamond represents the root, and that's our normal bass note. That's the bass note that we pluck first when we have the B in the strumming pattern. Then you'll see that the 3rd of the chord is represented by the number 3. And so it shows in those diagrams where the 3rd of the chord is. And then the 5th is a black dot, and so when we see that one, it's the 5th. And then the flatted 7th is an open circle. We usually don't use the flatted 7th when altering, or we're using an alternate bass note. We most often use the 5th. So let's look at that one first. So with an A chord, which you see written there first, and the A7, it's going to be the same whether it's A or A7. And really, even if it was A minor, it would be the same. Our 5th, we have 2 options. We can go to the higher string, so we pluck the 5th string where the bass is, and then we can go to the 4th string. And we have that, we can alternate with the 5th there. So we can go low to high, meaning lower bass to higher alternate, lower bass to higher alternate. With the A chord, we can also go higher to low. So the open 6th string is also a 5th. So we can go higher bass note to lower alternate, and higher to lower. End up using both of these with A. Same for A or A7, doesn't matter. If we were to look at D, and we want to look at D because it's similar, so D's over the far right of that first line, and D7, they're going to be the same. So for D and D7, it works the same. Our bass note is on the 4th, so it is 1 string higher, but the 5th is also on the 3rd string, so it's on the next string. We can go 4th to 3rd, 4th to 3rd, 4th to 3rd, so low to high. Or we can go lower on this one too, because the open 5th string is also the 5th. So D, we can go lower there. Works the same for D7. So, and then for the E chord, if you had a 7-string guitar, you could go to the lower string, but we can't. So the root is is on the lowest string. We have that fifth that's just on the next string. So A, D, and E, they're all the same that way. And it would work the same for E7 or E minor, it wouldn't matter. Those ones are all alike. And with those ones, you rarely see the plucking of the third. I just went to a higher root. The third's all the way up there. It's just kind of rare. You might run into it if you used the root in the middle of the chord in the third, but it's rare to see the A, D, or E done with the third. That's just kind of rare. But as we look over at C, F, and G, which are all kind of similar, let's look at G first. So G and G7 are the same. When we go from the sixth string where our root is to the next string is the third. So this is one where we will see the alternating between the root and the third. And we'll call it a hammer-on, but you play the open string and then put the finger. So when I pluck, it's kind of a little bluesy thing to do. Hammer that on. That happens sometimes with G. If we want the fifth with G, we gotta skip over a string, the fourth string, which does happen. Okay, so that's G. Let's look at C. With C, we can go from the root to the third by going from the fifth string to the fourth string, and this happens with C. We can also blue it. Oops, I skipped to the fifth. And you can skip over a string to the fifth. That doesn't work with C7 because the pinky would be there. In that case, you would be alternating with the flatted seventh. That might be a rare case where it happens. But the other thing that you can do with C, though, in alternating with the bass, is you can go lower, but you have to move your ring fingers. So I'm moving from the third fret to the third fret, high to low, alternating with that fifth. And this happens with C a lot. This is such a driving force of the guitar. So we can go higher to the third, we can skip over a string to the fifth, or we can go to that lower fifth. When I do the fifth with C, I almost always go lower. Now F, when we use the fourth string F, we can do the same things that we can do with C. So I have fourth string with my root, I can go up to the next one, which is the third. I could blue it. If I skip over a string, I could alternate with the fifth, but it's so high, I don't know if that's really ever done, but I certainly don't do it. But you can also go lower, so third fret to third fret gets the root to the fifth. It's pretty cool. If you're using the bar chord version, you can go low to high on the root to the fifth. With the fifth string bar chords, you can go low to high to low, or low to high, both doing the fifth. With those bar chords, doing with the third isn't really done. Okay, we're going to try this out with number 6 on page 88 just for a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and do some songs with these, which is going to be cool. So G, if we go from G to C and D7, let's just take whatever we have, we'll go the lowest root to the next option. So for G, it's going to be to the third, going from 6 to 5, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum, bass strum. For C, we'll go the same thing, 5th to 4th, bass strum, bass, alternate, going 5th, root to 3rd, root to 3rd on the 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. D7, we'll just go lower to high, which is going to be root to the 5th on the higher one. So 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and G, C, G, D7, G. It goes just like that. Let's take though and give each chord 4 times so we get lots of practice with each chord. 1, 2, ready, and we got G, let's do each one 2 times. So 1, 2, ready, and G, G, C, C, G, G, D7. Let's do it again. G, G, C, C, G, G, D7, and G. Now this time, when we get to C, let's go ahead and move that finger and go high to low, alternating with the 5th. And when we get to D7, we'll go to high to low as well. So alternating the 4th string with the 5th string, we'll get root to 5th as well. G, we'll just, you could practice skipping over to the 5th. So skipping over a string. Here we go. We'll do 4 times on each chord. 1, 2, ready, and G, C, and back to G, D7, okay, so now with R, the pattern R, you can add a down up strumming instead of just the down, so it could be bass down up, bass down. Now I'm just getting the bass note in there. So really I'm doing L, which we've done before. We can get the alternate bass plucks in there. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do G that way 2 times per chord. So we'll go what we were just doing. We're skipping from the root to the 6th string to the 4th string, root to 5th. For G, C, we'll go higher to low, and D7, same, higher root to lower alternate. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and G, G, C, G, G, D7, G. Let's do it again. C, G, and D7. Now, we're going to go through some songs. If you just want to do the bass strum, that's what I would do first until you're comfortable with it. If you're comfortable with it, then go ahead and add that up strum to it. It's kind of nice. Okay, so we're going to look at page 31 and do this with number 6 and 7. So starting with She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain. So on the A, you can choose whether you want to go higher to lower, so 5th string to 6th string, 5th string to 6th string, which is the one I'm going to do, or you could go 5th to 4th, doesn't matter, either way. On the E7, we're going to go 6th string to 5th string, it's going to go root to 5th, on the D chord, you can go the 4th string to the 5th, so higher to lower, which is what I'll do. Or you can go 4th to 3rd, doesn't matter. Either works, both alternates with the 5th. She'll. I'm going to do the up strum, but you can just do the down if you want to as your first learning. And sometimes I take out that up strum. Just kind of depends, even when I'm playing faster. So we'll have 1, 2, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Same thing. There we go. Hang down a 1, 2, ready, and hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. I met her on the mountain. Was there I took her life. I met her on the mountain. Stabbed her with my knife. Oh, page 35, we'll do number 2. So I've been working on the railroad. With this one, we've got D, G, E7, and A7. So on the D, I'm still going to go high to low. With the G on this one, I'm going to skip over from the 6th string to the 4th string. So I'm going to get that alternating 5th in there. And then the D. For E7, I'll go 6th to 5th string, so I'm getting root to 5. For A7, I'm going to go 5th to 6th, getting root to 5. So you can go higher or lower on those ones that have the option, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to go lower when I can. I've 1, 2, ready, and I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Don't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. It's a good one. Now we'll go to page 41 and do number 3. So nobody knows the trouble I've seen. We got E. I'm going to go 6th to 5th string. A, I'm going to go the opposite way. So I'm going to go high to low. B7. We never worked on B7 yet, but with B7, it's like C, G, C, and F. If you take your finger with the root note on and the lowest bass there, or the lowest root, so the bass, and you move it, so from fret 2 to fret 2, strings 5 to 6, you can go high to low, and that's what I'm going to do. This is one where you can go to the 3rd if you go pluck the 5th string to the 4th string goes between the 3rd. We don't really have an option for going higher for the 5th because it's all the way up to the top string. So you can just go lower if you want the 5th. And that's what I'm going to do. Here you go. I want to ready and nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, Okay, so that one is page 41, number 3. We're going to go on to pages 48 and 49 and do Oh Susanna and the Wabash Cannonball, so numbers 4 and 7. So these ones we got C, and I'm going to go high to low. Probably do it twice, but I just think it's fun to move that finger and get that bass line going in there. For G7, I'm going to go skip over that 5th string to the 4th string, so I get the root and the 5. When I get to F, I'm going to go high to low. Just like that. A 1, 2, 3, oh, I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see. It rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. 'Cause I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. So you would have figured out that when the chord comes halfway into the bar, it just gets a bass down up. And with this one, when we're alternating with the root to the 5th, going high to low from C to G7, it was the same, but we had to change the chord. Okay, we'll go over to and do number 7. Now with this one, I'm going to do the other option. So we're going to go from the root to the 3rd, root to the 3rd. Same for F and for G7. Now with this one, you could glue the 3rd by using the hammer-on technique for F and G7. So C, F, and G7, it works for all of them. I'm not going to do that on this, but it's something you could work up to, or you could do it if you'd like to. Listen, I want to ready and listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, riding through the woodlands to the hills and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now I use that variation less often. There's just a few songs where I like it better, but most of the time I like where we're doing that alternate bass. So let's do that on this one. We're going to go root to the 5th. So 5th string to 6th string, 5th string to 6th string, 4th string, 5th for F, G7, G7, it really doesn't matter. You can go up to the 3rd or up to the 5th. That one strum, I grabbed the actual root. Doesn't matter. Either's fine. Whichever one, even in the mix of this. Okay, so here you go. Listen, 1, 2, ready, and listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, riding through the woodlands to the hills and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the wood jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Okay, we'll flip on over to page 51 and do number 12. This will be the last of these. Will the circle be unbroken? So we'll keep that same thing going. Here you go. 1, 2, will the circle be unbroken? By and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better right, so in the next lesson, in lesson 27, we'll work on doing bass runs in between. So it's like C. Let me try that again. We can do little runs between the change of chords. Okay, let's go over and do some tablature now. Okay, so in the tablature, we're going to start on pages 104 and 105. We're going to do numbers 142 to 144. So with these ones, we are in third position. That means that our index finger's at the 3rd fret, our middle is at the 4th, our ring is at the 5th, and our pinky is at the 6th. Now, a song could shift out of a given position because frets are needed that are outside of that, and when that happens, we just shift our hand down or up. These ones we won't need to shift on, but if we did, then we would just shift to the next position where we could work with four adjacent frets. So with this one though, we're working in these 4 adjacent frets here. Now, we're going to start, when I start a song and I don't know what position I'd be in, and you don't have the instructor here to be like, we're going to play it here. What I would do is look over the first few measures and see what the lowest fret that's used is and put my index finger there. And then I would use the 4 adjacent frets that follow, so the index, middle, ring, and pinky, those 4 adjacent frets. And then if it goes outside of those, I would shift up or down to accommodate, just sort of working with the 4 adjacent frets, as our hands have been learning to do as we've been working in first position. Okay, let's go ahead and play Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. So the challenge here is probably getting used to reading where the notes are, but using a finger that doesn't have that same number. So when we're in first position, we always get to use fret 3 with finger 3, or fret 2 with finger 2, or fret 1 with finger 1. And so now that changes up, and that can be a little bit trippy, but we can get used to it. So let's go ahead and play this one. 1, 2, ready, and... Let's look at 143, Hey Ho, Nobody Home. So 1, 2, ready, and... Now, if you're able to just read these and play these, that's great. If you kind of fumble through them as you try and play along with me, then it's a good idea to just stop the video and work on them until you can get them and then play them along with me. So it's most helpful if we can get things accurately and get between our brain through the nervous system and to our fingers to get that all happening smoothly. We want to force ourselves to be as accurately as possible at whatever tempo that takes. So sometimes it takes playing a little slower and then bringing it up to speed. Sometimes it actually going slower advances us because it's a little bit harder to play more accurately slow. That's getting slower and slower. But different tempos helps us out, but really trying to get it as accurate as possible at whatever tempo we're playing it at. That works really well. And sometimes I might just work on a given measure over and over until I got it. Okay, we'll do When Johnny Comes Marching Home. So This one's in 6/8. It's got that 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a fill. I'll give us 1 and a 2 and then on the we got to catch the pickup there. 1 and a 2 and the 2 and the 2 and 2 and 2. And as a reminder, the videos that come with the book itself, I go into greater detail, play at different tempos. Let's go over now to page 124 and 125, and we'll play At the Jazz Band Ball, which we did last time in sort of a fun challenge piece. So, At the Jazz Band Ball is in first position. Just like that. We'll play it a little bit faster than we did last time. 1, 2, ready, and 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, now we'll do another new one in this section. So, page 132, number 179. I'll just play a little bit of this. So that's sort of how this one goes. It's kind of fun. Now, there's a couple spots where you got to reach up and grab the 5th fret with your pinky. So that gets kind of exciting. Right there in the second full measure, we have to do that. So be prepared that will show up. And then in the second line, I'll say that also happens on the 3rd line, but in the second line, we actually have to come all the way up to the 7th fret. So we're going to be in 4th position as you grab with your pinky the 7th fret, and then 4th fret with your index. And then we shift down. So that part, you can grab the 4th fret with your index because you get the open string. Shifting on an open string works great. So in that one spot, we're going to have that shift too. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. I'll give us ready and go, and we'll be in about there. Ready and go. Kind of fun. So with the videos that come with the book, I play that at different tempos. It's really fun to get faster and faster. So, tempos to work up to. Okay, let's do some note reading now. Okay, so in the note reading, we're going to be on pages 81 and 82 as we start. So we're doing lesson 13, or working in lesson 13. We won't do the whole lesson. You can do the whole lesson with the video that comes with the book. But in this Guitar 101 series, we're going to work a little bit together here on the keys of F major and D minor. Really, we're going to be playing with F major. So with this one, you'll see in the example with the key signature there, we have the flat sitting on that B line in the middle of the staff. And so all of our B notes are going to be played, so B are going to be played as B flat. So this is the one time where that open string goes down to the 3rd fret instead of the 4th fret of the string that's lower. So we have the open B goes down to the 3rd fret on the 3rd string. That's our one exception to normally we take an open string down to the 4th fret of the lower string to go to the flat. So this is the 1 3rd fret 3rd string. So we're going to be playing the B as B flat, and then we also have our B at the 2nd fret, which goes down to B flat. The rest of the notes are played natural. So sitting right above number 1 on the right, you can see where all the notes are located for the scale in first position. We're going to play number 1. This sort of follows the pattern of what we've done before with playing 4 plucks per note, then 2, then 1, and playing from the lowest root to the highest note in the position, which in this case will be a G. Then we come back to that lowest root, play to the lowest note, which in this case is just an E, and we come back. So let's go ahead and do it. 4 plucks per note, starting on F. Now as we're doing the 4 plucks per note, you want to make sure and do the alternate picking. Down, up if you're using a pick. If you're using just your thumb, you can continue to just do all down plucks. Or you can alternate thumb, index, or index, middle, something like that. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Okay, number 2, 2 plucks per note. 1 and 2 and ready and go and F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E, F. We turn over to page 82 and do number 3. We're going to do 1 pluck per note. So here you go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Now, just like in previous lessons, for this case, the relative minor of F major is D minor. So both of them have 1 flat, but it's the priority in the order of pitches. When we start on that D instead, the scale sounds minor instead of major. So our melodies and how they use those pitches will sound major or minor. And the chords that go with those will also be major or minor. So let's do number 7 on page 83. Got that written there on the board. We're in 3/4 time. Just like like so. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll go over to page 86 and do numbers 13 and 14. 1, 2, retti, and. Rest. Rest and rest. 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 2, 3, off. Okay, number 14, Simple Gifts, starts on C, and it's on beat 4, so we'll come in the count off on beat 4 in the pickup. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, we'll go back to the chords and work on some jazz chords now. Okay, so back in the chords, we're going to finish off this lesson with some movable 7th chords. So we've done power chords, which are movable. We've done bar chords, which are movable, meaning that one shape can be played over the neck. Now we're going to look at the movable versions of 7th and 6th chords. So these are used in a lot of jazz, but they also show up in other types of music as well from time to time. And there are artists that love to bring in more jazz-influenced harmony into pop and rock and folk and country and other music. So we're going to cover these chords over this lesson, so this lesson 26, and in the next 2 lessons we'll cover some of these chords in the back part of the Chords and Harmony book, which are movable, and which we talked about a little bit in the first position. We'll cover them a little bit here with the movable shapes. And we'll go into just a little bit. There's lots of progressions in these lessons, which give you lots of chance to get really good at playing them, and the progressions just sound so good. But you can do the videos that come with the book, the Method Book series, if you want to play right along with me and get into even greater detail on these, because I go into much greater detail in the videos that come with the books. Okay. We're going to start off on pages 143 through 145. So we've already learned about major 7th chords. We know that they add a major 7th and make them nice and rich. So we're looking at the movable shapes now. So we're going to look at the bottom of page 143 over there on the right. And I'm just going to demonstrate everything right at B flat and E flat. So right kind of in the center of the neck. So with my root at the 6th fret for both of those strings. So with the 6th string form, This is an unusual one by anything that we've done so far. It's not unusual in and of itself, but it's unusual meaning that it's new to us to do something this way. What we have here is where we got to mute strings and we're not really using a bar. So it's a movable shape that doesn't have a bar. With my index finger, I am playing the note and then I'm letting it gently relax and kind of mute the other strings, because you'll see an X there on the first string and on the fifth string. Those ones are not to ring. And then we have the shape that's really like our A minor shape, that little triad shape. It's sitting in with the middle. My index and my middle fingers are in the same fret. Index in the 6th fret, middle in the 6th fret on the second string, and then ring and pinky, as you can see there. And when I strum that, it just sounds so rich and so good. The strumming pattern we're going to use, and this is explained earlier in the book, but we haven't gone over it, is we're just going to go do-dot, just like that. Just a nice little kind of jazzy. I'm going to cut it off with my left hand, give my left hand a little break. I'm going to cut it off after that second one. A do-dot. So that's what we'll use when we're playing these. Now we got the 6th string form down. You need to take a look at the 5th string form. With the 5th string form, you have two options. You can play just the inside 4 strings and let your index finger relax and mute the top string, or you can push it down and make it a bar and have that top string ring. I oftentimes just play the inside 4. It sounds nice to have a 4-string voicing for both strings, and sometimes I'll reach for that top one, but a lot of times I'll just relax and mute it. So I'm not really barring, I'm just more muting and relaxing that index finger. Okay, so that's the major 7th shapes. Make sure you got those down. And then we have the dominant 7th shapes. Now really, dominant 7th, we can just use our bar chords that we've done before. And for the 5th string form, that's really what we'll do. But I oftentimes will just play the inside 4 for that 5th string form as well. But E flat 7, we've already played that in B flat 7. Now kind of a more jazz sounding voicing, a jazzy voicing, is to take out that 5th from the bar chord, and so we actually finger it like so. Like you'll see there, index, middle, ring, every other string, and then pinky. And that's the way that I'll play it today. If you need to, you can play just the bar chord version though, and worry about learning less chords at the moment. Next, in the next lesson, we'll be replacing these with colors that will become 13ths and 9ths anyway, so it's okay if you want to just stick to the bar chord that you already know, or you can learn this shape. Now over on page 145, we have the minor, major 7th chords. I'm not going to actually worry about these and what we're doing today, but you could learn and use those ones, the minor, major 7th. They sound really nice, especially in minor keys. But we are going to look at the minor 7ths, which are at the bottom of the page. So the minor chord with the minor 7th. Now with the minor chord with the minor 7th, sort of the voicing that's used in more jazz settings, you have your middle finger on the root and then the ring finger bars over. So if we're used to playing a bar chord like that, with like E flat, it just slides down that same pressure with the ring finger, and then we put the middle finger in there. You could do a bar chord version where it's like B flat minor, only you pull your pinky off, but usually this is the one that gets played in most contexts with these types of chords, and later when we're doing with 9ths and 13ths and so on, it's nice to have that fingering down. So that's the one I recommend learning. Off the 5th string, it goes back to our bar chord shapes actually, and if you play E flat minor and you were to pull your finger off, your pinky off, it becomes E flat minor 7. With this one, I don't always play the top string, sometimes I do. So we need those shapes, and you can glance back as you need to, but we're going to turn over to pages 146 and 147 and put these into context here, practice with them a little bit. So we'll start with number 1, which is we're just going to practice with the major 7th chords, so you can get those shapes down. Now these progressions, numbers 1 through 4, they're going around what we call the circle of force. So the root movement is moving around the interval of a perfect fourth. So the perfect fourth is the distance, for example, from C to F. C, D, E, F creates a perfect fourth. The guitar is actually strung with intervals of perfect fourths. So the E to the A is a perfect fourth, A to D, D to G. The one exception is G to B is not. It's a major third. And then B to E is a perfect fourth. So we're strung mostly in perfect fourths. This makes working with chords kind of fun, just to go around the circle of fourths. And it sounds very musical because chord progressions often utilize that root movement of the perfect fourth. So on the guitar, when we start at C at the 8th fret on the 6th string, we'll move to F, 8th fret of the 5th string, so it's just the same fret. Then to go on to B flat, we need to go down 2 frets and start on the 6th string again. Then we'll alternate up to the E flat. Then we go down 2 frets and do A flat on the 6th string, D flat on the 5th string. So it's just that simple. Then, to keep from going below the 3rd fret, which is where we would go down to G flat 2 frets lower, we'll slide up and do some more. So on the same string, to go perfect fourth, we go 5 frets higher. So at the 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets us up to the 9th fret. So 9th fret on the 5th string. From 4th fret on the 5th string to 9th fret on the 5th string. Then we continue from there. Down 2 frets to the 6th string gets us B. Then up to the 5th string on that same fret gets us E. Then down 2 frets to the 6th string gets us A. Same fret but next string gets us D. Down 2 frets to the 6th string gets us G. And then same fret, different string gets us C. So if we plug in these chords, we would move around that circle of fourths. Let's just once do twice on each root. Practice going around this circle of fourths. 1, 2, ready, and C. We'll do C again. And then we'll go F. And then B flat. So 6th fret. E flat, 6th fret. A flat at the 4th. D flat at the 4th. G flat at the 9th. 5th string, then B, we got E, we got A, we got D, we got G, and you got C. Okay, now what we want to do is plug in the chords. We'll do it twice per chord, so it gives us a little bit of a chance. Even though it's written 1 measure per chord, we'll do it twice per chord. Give us a chance to get kind of comfortable with these. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and we get the C major 7. We're going to go up to the F. We're going to go to the B flat. We're going to go to E flat. I'm going to go to A flat and D flat, up to G flat, we got B, we got E, we got A, we got D, we got G, we got C. We're end there on C. Okay, now let's do number 2. So we'll do it with the dominant 7th chord. So you can use both bar chords, or you can use that new shape, and then we'll just go around just like so. Same thing, twice per chord. 1, 2, ready, and we got C7. We got F7. We got B flat 7. We got E flat 7. We got A flat 7. D flat 7. G flat 7. B7. E7, A7, D7, G7, and C7. Okay, we're going to skip number 3, go over to the next page and do number 4 with the minor 7ths. So C minor 7, F minor 7, B flat, and so on. A 1, 2, ready, and C minor 7 to the F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat minor 7, A flat minor 7, D flat minor 7, G flat minor 7, B minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G minor 7, and then C minor 7. And you can practice those as much as you need to until you get comfortable. It's a great way to get the shapes down in our hands. We're going to look at number 5 though. Number 5 is going to combine the 3 chords together in what we call 2-5-1 progressions. So in a given key, the chords can be referred to by the step of the scale that goes with that key that they come off of. So in the key of C, C is step 1, D is step 2, and we have there a D minor 7, so that's the 2 chord, and then E, F, G is step 5, so that's the 5 chord, and then C we already know is the 1. So with these, usually the 2 is a minor 7th chord, the 5 is a dominant 7th chord, and the 1 is a major 7th chord or a major 6th chord. We're going to work on major 6th here in a minute, but D minor to the G7 to the C major 7, just like that. So what's interesting is this root movement goes right around the circle of force, D to G to C. But we're using minor 7th followed by dominant and then major. Now the way number 5 works is that after we've done 1, 2, 5, 1, that 1 becomes the new 2 for the next key. 2, 5, 1. And then that becomes the new 2, 5, 1. Then that's A flat major 7. We're going to be out of space to go any lower. We'll go down one more. A flat minor, D flat, and G flat major. We could go there. Or we can come up to the 11th fret for A flat minor, D flat, and G flat. And then it becomes the minor, and we go around for each of these. Let's work on the 2 sets together just in 2 different positions, then we'll try going through number 5. So if we were playing in B flat major, the C is going to be the minor, so minor 7th, followed by that F7, it's going to be dominant, and major. We'll just do that one over and over. We'll give the B flat twice. So just do that with me a few times. You got C minor to the F, to the B flat, to the B flat. Again, you got C minor to the F, to the B flat. Again, and C minor to the F, to the B flat. And C minor, F, B flat. Now let's work down through the keys. So starting at the 10th fret with the D minor, we'll go 2, 5, 1, and then after doing that C major 7 twice, it'll become C minor 7. We'll just go all the way down to G flat major 7 that way. 1, 2, ready, and you got D minor to the G, to to the C major. Then it's going to become C minor to the F to the B flat. And it's going to become B flat minor to E flat to A flat. It's going to become A flat minor to D flat to G flat. Okay, let's do it on the other set now. So we'll start here in the middle, so we'll be on F minor to B flat 7 to E flat. So you could just practice with me on that one over and over until you get kind of comfortable with this one. We got the F minor to the B flat to the E flat. Again, F minor, B flat 7 to the E flat. We'll go F minor to the B flat 7 to the E flat. So once more, F minor, B flat to the E flat. Now let's practice working down the neck with this one. We'll start up high with A flat minor 7, so at the 11th fret, to D flat to G flat, and then that'll become minor, and we'll work our way down. 1, 2, ready, and we got the A flat minor to the D flat to the G flat. Then it's becoming G flat minor, E to E. We got E minor to the A to the D. We got D minor to the G to the C. Okay, we'll play this whole progression now, number 5. It's going to start at D minor and it'll work its way down to the keys that we just did. Then it will go back after finishing at C and start at C sharp minor. So try it. We won't go any lower than frets 2 or 3, and we'll come up when we need to. So here you go. 1, 2, ready, and we got D minor to G to C major 7, I should say. We got the C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, and then A flat minor 7, D flat, G flat. Now I gotta jump up to the 9th fret on the 5th string for the G flat minor 7, B7, E major 7, and then I got E minor 7, A7, the D major 7. Then we got the D minor 7 to the G7 to the C major 7. Gotta jump up to the 9th fret for C sharp minor 7, F7, B major 7. Then we got B minor 7, E7, A major 7, A minor 7, D7, G major 7. Gotta jump up to the 10th, G minor 7, C7, F major 7, F minor 7, E flat 7, the E flat major 7, E flat minor 7, to the A flat 7, to the D flat major 7, D flat minor 7, F sharp, and then B. So I really could say C flat major 7 or G flat. It could also be C sharp minor, F sharp, so inharmonic names for those roots. Okay, let's go on over and just look at the 6th. Now if you really like these 7th chords, then really go through the lessons that come with the book and go into greater detail and practice with all the progressions that are here, which are great. But we'll go over to pages 159 and 161 now. and look at the major 6. We won't look as detailed on these, but just it's kind of nice to have a major 6 voicing. Once in a while we need it. So with the major 6 voicing, you'll see this one's movable, but it is not a bar chord. So your middle finger's on the root, index skips over a string, is on the next string. Middle and ring fingers are on the same fret, just on the 2nd and 6th strings, and then your pinky fits in there. That's a nice little voicing. And then for the one off the 5th string, it's a bit beastly, really. If you took your I'm demonstrating these at C, C6 now F. So if you had F7 and you replace where you leave your ring and pinky down, put your middle finger where your index, where the bar was, and then fill in your index finger. That is a big stretch. That is a mean chord. But that's how you do that major 6th. And then over on page 160, we have the minor 6 chords, which we sometimes play. The one off the 6th string is pretty friendly. If we've just been playing the minor 7th, you just have to bring that bar down a little bit, and so you can put your index finger in there on that other string. It becomes a minor 6th. The 5th string form, as you're looking at it, is a little bit beastly. Now I'll just point out that you couldn't go around the circle of force with these two. And I will do that here with you. Just do the best you can. If you run into music where you use these a lot, then you'll be getting this voicing down, but it's kind of a mean one, especially the lower we go. Here you go. Number 1 on page 160. 1, 2, ready, and C6. Then the F6. B flat 6. You got the E flat 6, A flat 6, D flat 6, G flat 6, B6, E6, A6, D6, G6, C6. Okay, now we'll do the minor 6th. So number 2 on page 161. I want to ready and C minor 6 to F minor 6. B flat minor 6, E flat minor 6, A flat minor 6, D flat minor 6, G flat minor 6, B minor 6, E minor 6, A minor 6, D minor 6, G minor 6, and C minor 6. Okay, so that wraps us up for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to learn how to add 13ths and 9ths to these chords. They sound really beautiful. That kind of thing. Chords that just, they just feel and sound good. We'll also, of course, work on more tablature, continuing up the neck, and a new challenge piece. We'll work with note reading using the key of B flat, so 2 flats, and G minor, so B flat and E flat will be in there. And we'll continue to work with the new strumming, especially that alternate plucking, and we'll be adding in how to do some bass runs, that sort of thing. So keep working with the finger picking too, and on and on. So it's going to be great. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're applying these skills to learning songs that you'd like to learn by artists that you really enjoy listening to. And keep enjoying playing the guitar. I'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.